Hello. I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes now about how style works in a literary text. Ordinarily, we often think about style in terms of clothing. We think about the choices that a person makes getting dressed, such as the choice between jeans and slacks or between a ball gown and a little black dress. Similarly, we can think of style in literature as the choices that writers make as they create their work. As you probably know from your experience as a writer, we make a lot of decisions when we write, and in the same way that our decisions about clothing tell people about us, a writer's decisions about words can tell readers about how to respond to that writer's work. Now, to most effectively show what I mean, perhaps I should offer some examples. Now, I'll start with the first paragraph of The Foghorn, a short story by Ray Bradbury. Now, most readers think of Bradbury's writing as especially poetic. They get a real emotional charge out of it, and a close look at these sentences might explain that impression. Although I know you can read, I'm going to take the liberty of reading this to you so that you'll get a chance to kind of hear the tone of the writing in your voice. So this is what Bradbury writes. Out there in the cold water, far from land, we waited every night for the coming of the fog, and it came, and we oiled the brass machinery and lit the fog light up in the stone tower. Feeling like two birds in the gray sky, MacDonagh and I set the light touching out, red, then white, then red again, to eye the lonely ships. And if they did not see our light, then there was always our voice, the great deep cry of our foghorn, shuddering through the rags of mist to startle the gulls away like decks of scattered cards, and make the waves turn high and foam. As you read this passage, you might notice how the sentences seem to use a lot of commas. This, at least to my mind, creates a rolling, wave-like kind of rhythm. The phrases separated by commas, coming back and back and back, the way that waves come back and back and back to the shore. You also might see how Bradbury constructs sentences in kind of the way that the Bible does. He uses coordination as a way to join sentences and ideas together. The Bible does the same kind of thing. So, in this way, Bradbury uses heightened language to create a kind of smooth mental flow with his style. Indeed, this vaguely biblical style that Bradbury has chosen helps a reader expect something miraculous and meaningful from the story, and indeed the story provides that. We can say a little more about style by looking at another example, this time from the short story Red Wind by Raymond Chandler. You'll probably notice a difference between Chandler's style and Bradbury's as you read these sentences. And again, I'm going to take the liberty of reading this to you so that, again, you can kind of hear the sound of the voice that the writer seems to be looking for. There was a desert wind blowing that night. It was one of those hot, dry Santa Anas that come down through the mountain passes and curl your hair and make your nerves jump and your skin itch. On nights like that, every booze party ends in a fight. Meek little wives feel the edge of the carving knife and study their husbands' necks. Anything can happen. You can even get a full glass of beer at a cocktail lounge. Consider how much faster than Bradbury's paragraph this seems. The sentences are much shorter and more direct. Where Bradbury makes sentences using many phrases and lots of flowing rhythm, Chandler uses short sentences that get directly to their point. Where Bradbury's commas slow the style down, Chandler lets his sentences run more directly to their points. Also, in contrast to Bradbury's kind of biblical and reverent tone, Chandler's style includes little jokes that pierce that feeling of reverence and go alongside images of real violence in sharp contrast to the tone of wonder that Bradbury looks for. Chandler goes for a tone of grit, of down-to-earth reality. And this gets us ready as readers for a fast-paced story with some pretty violent twists, which is, in fact, what Chandler gives us. So, as you keep reading works of literature, I hope you'll keep paying attention to how readers use style. When we look closely at the choices that writers make about words and sentences and punctuation and all the other elements of written work, we give ourselves the best chance possible to receive most accurately the message that the writer wants to send. Writers have personalities, as the rest of us do, and they express these personalities through their style. But, as the rest of us do, they can decide more or less consciously on how to express this style. And that expression is what we look for when we look for a writer's style. And in fact, as you keep developing experience as a writer, doing your own work, you might pay more attention to how you develop your own style. As always, thank you for your time and attention.